Hi scrappy friends, welcome to my channel today. I am going to be working with the Larkindesign January collection that is called Out with the Old. And this is a super fun collection and kit that Teresa has put together that you can find in her shop. I'll have links below. And I am working on a Project Life spread for an intro page, and then I'm also going to be doing the setup for the first week. Now, in the past, I've actually done it more on a weekly basis, but I pretty much use two pocket, or, two protectors for a week anyway. I might use a little bit less or a little bit more, but I think this year I'm gonna try out by weeks again. But really try to keep it really simple as far as what pictures I pick. Let's see if that happens. I'm kind of hoping that by working a little bit ahead of time and doing my setup without all the pictures, that I can spend a little bit more time doing the pocket stuff, which I absolutely love. I mean, this is my favorite part of the whole process, is coming together and putting cards together that match and embellishing them, and I really love the idea of using a kit. And so by using Teresa's collection, and every month there's a new collection, so there'll be more cards that match with all of the other cards, but will be different. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing a cohesiveness throughout the whole year, because generally what happens is whatever kit or collections that I'm using for that time period will kind of be in chunks, and so the whole album won't really be cohesive. So I'm really looking forward to this part, because not that it has to all completely match, but it's really nice when you have that little element. So I'm starting with this wheat card, and all of these, this whole kit is a digital kit. So you have to print it off at home, or you could have it printed off at like Staples or something. So I am printing off all of my stuff, at least for this month, on cover stock, and I use the same kind that Andrea uses, so Retro Hip Mama. She said that she uses the Hammer Meal card or cover stock, and it's a little bit thinner than cardstock, but it's a little bit thicker than like it's roughly around the same thinness as like a presentation paper or something, but it's slicker than a presentation paper. So a presentation paper, at least that I've used for my own printer at home, and I have an HP printer. It's just it's a photo printer, but it also does your basic stuff. So it's not anything really, really special, except for it can do a little bit more photo wise, but not a lot. It still only does 8.5 by 11 sizes. That's the biggest it goes, which is fine, because I don't really need a 12 by 12. I mean, yes, would I love a 12 by 12, but I don't need it, right? So that's what I printed on. And I really like this cover stock because it's not completely matte. And it really cuts really nicely, unless you have an old blade, and then it doesn't cut. But nothing cuts when you have a really old blade. So that wheat card that you first see me use actually had a little snag in it, because my cutter is getting old, so sometimes it snags a little bit, but that is just a user error and not necessarily the fact that it doesn't work. But Teresa also has these little cards for each of the months, so it says the day or the days of the week, and I really like this idea, and I decided to put this in at the beginning that's my intro page. So it'll just be the page that you see at the beginning, and it just has a picture of each of my kids from when we went to go get Christmas trees. I got a couple of really cute shots of my kids, so I just decided to use those. I figured I didn't need anything super special. We really don't do holiday pictures We should, but we don't. Um, and some years I've taken pictures of my kids, but this year it just didn't really end up happening as much. So that's okay. Um, in the end, as long as I have a picture that is remotely what they looked like at the beginning of the year, because I really like to see that beginning to the end of the year in my process. Now, I will admit, while we're going the start of this for this year, I am a project life failie to the max. But I'm really hoping that with a couple of changes that I've made from last year, that I will do better this year at staying the course, because I have found that I get really um like bogged down by not having enough stuff in place to make it really simple. So I'm really hoping that by using these kits that it will make my process so much easier. Plus, just in general, if you have deadlines and stuff, design teams, you can use that to fuel. Like, I'm using that to fuel, and I definitely have seen that in this past couple of years, that the stuff that I've done for design teams has really helped me grow as a scrapbooker, just to find a knack that fits me. And if you're someone who's having a problem finding your project lifestyle, you're not the first one. And I definitely have struggled with this, with how much do I add, because I really love embellishing, but there is a key to holding back a little bit so that it becomes manageable. Because unless you only do project life, and then, if that's all you do and you love to embellish, don't not embellish. I mean, come on, do it. Do it what fits you and your lifestyle the best, and that's really the best advice that I can give anybody. But using a kit, I think, definitely helps, because it helps you have a lot of the work done for you. You just print off the cards, or if you use just a regular kit, you have these cards, you just pick what you like. And I think that this is one of the things that I have found for me, is picking the pieces that you love the most. So what I did, I went through the cards, and instead of saving the best cards for last, I said, you know what, I absolutely love these cards, and I picked them. And as you can see, as I'm working through this and I'm just talking, um, I decided to use quite a bit of Ali Edwards story kit stuff, like embellishments. I have a ton of story kits from last year and part of the year before. I got quite a bit of her kits in the past. I'm not currently subscribed because I was not really using them to the extent that I wanted to, and I really had to cut my budget for scrappiness. And that is where I decided, as much as I absolutely love these kits, because there's so much stuff that you can use for a lot, and she has so many project life type pieces that really help tie project life together. So I mean, I know that this is for Teresa, but if you're looking for something that could go well, an embellishment kit that can go well with something that you have printed out, this is a good place to go. I think you get a really good medium of mixing digital with not digital stuff. And I'm not, like, I don't feel like I'm super hybrid-y, but really this past year I've added so much hybrid elements to what I'm doing, that this design team really seems to fit where I'm at. And I'm really excited to show a whole different way of adding digital to your regular stuff. I'm really excited to just like kind of break a few of the things that we have in our mind for, and I know Teresa has done an amazing job, which is why I really am excited to be on her team and link up with her, because she has already done some really cool things to show how easy it is to intermix digital and regular scrapbooking. Because, I think we all, even if you are a digital and you only do digital, there is this element of tactileness that I think everybody likes. And just because you only do stuff on the computer doesn't mean that you haven't touched something in some way. So I'm also using a lot of the Bohemian Dreams from Coca Vanilla Studio uh, to go with this. A lot of those colors really seem to like match with hers, and I'm really excited to see like the newer stuff, how you can mix them in with stuff that is, you know, digital and all that good stuff. So that is from, so I'm almost done with that first page. I'll go back to it, but I'm just trying to like lay out how I want some cards. So I've basically left spots open for pictures and stuff because I know I'll have some big pictures, and I know I'll do some 3x4 pictures, and I kind of wanted to have an equal amount. And I really like having cards that have a lot of journaling spaces, because this is one of the things that I really like about Project Life, is that you can really add your own voice to this and make it however, tell the stories however you best feel. If you really like pictures, you can definitely focus more on pictures and stuff, and I found that I really like a good mix, but I really do like to see the words. So I mean, obviously right now you're not seeing those, and I look forward to just like doing more flip throughs and showing you guys what it looks like once I add my photos to it, once this new year really starts going. And so now I'm working on one of the last few cards. As you could see, I used some of that branding strip to go from the one side to the other side, so it kind of links those two cards together, so you know that that they kind of work together. And I also wanted to go kind of with this motivational, like starting the new year, you know, letting go of the old and starting the new. And so I picked a lot of pieces from the Allie's kits that went with Teresa's kit, with this new kit that really spoke to that, like, let's get started, let's get remotivated. You know, every year is like the beginning of the new year is a good way to start off and just go, okay, let's reevaluate what we were doing, and like, how can we change to make this year a better year? You know, how can we have a more productive year? What can we change to make our lives feel more fulfilling? Because it's not just about, you know, just like, what goals do we want? You know, I mean, it's really just about having a fulfilling life. You know, are you doing the things that you love? Are you spending enough time together? You know, are you not spending enough time apart? Like, I don't know, you know, what are you happy with? What are you unhappy with? You know, what needs to stay, what needs to change? And there is my cat. So this, sorry about that. Amberly, she just had to be in my way. So this last card, I used one of Allie Edwards' like diagonal cards that worked perfectly with that floral piece that Teresa designed, and it's gorgeous. And I just kind of, out, as you've seen, I cut the top and the bottom, and I just hooked them into the corners and with that 3x4 card. And then I added that thankful, and that is from iHeart Studio, so that's another digital element, but that is different. And then I also have some of these circles from Brandy Kincaid, and that I had bought from hers, and they're just circle, like flare almost. And so I'm going to layer some of those in with some stickers from Maggie Holmes. I really mixed stuff together, but I really tried to keep with like colors and like the ideas that, so that it follows through. And this is one thing that I really enjoy. It takes a little bit more time, and as you can tell, this video is not like a super quick video. I'm not a super quick project lifer, but I'm okay with that. And I think embracing what you like to do and making it and just owning it up, I think sometimes it just is the most freeing thing that I've felt with doing Project Life, is like, this is my sound and this is cool, right? And just kind of tweaking it so that it doesn't take too long. I keep wanting to use that heart, and you'll see I end up actually using it, but I was trying to find some chipboard. Like, I'm trying not to make this too bulky, but I mean, I really don't mind if it's a little bulky on the inside, but I really wanted some layered elements down in those corners. I'll probably do some journaling in there or something. I don't see that I could probably fit a photo in there, and I'm one to not really use a lot of small photos, but yeah. So there's definitely gonna be a lot more, stuff as the months go on and as I figure out the best way. And so Allie had some of these number circles and they were perfect. The colors worked out really well with that little bubble card from Teresa, and it's just like a speech bubble, but it worked really well for just adding like some little things. And maybe I'll put in like facts or something that happened that week, or I don't know, who knows what will end up being in there. But I know that those are perfect, like journaling, like 3 things that you really enjoyed, or um so definitely if you guys are not really sure about project life, Teresa has a class that you want to check out in her store, because I've taken the class and it really was helpful and it was very motivating, even just like to to help me realize that like I really can keep keep my project life organized and simple and get it done, right? So definitely check that out if you're looking for some ideas and a class for project life, because it is a really good class. I'm just finishing up this last bit. There's not really that much. So I added Lemieux in these gold glitter thickers, which are like my favorite, and I'm almost done with them. I added some color cast, and I've used a lot of those color cast stars throughout just to kind of match them together. Now, I'm not really huge on making like triangles in my project life, but I do like to use similar elements throughout my page to just kind of make it a little bit more cohesive, whether I just do it on one side or I'm doing it on the double side, right? If I'm making it double. And I pretty much tried to do that throughout this whole week, or like the whole spread. Just kind of have elements that work together. And I will probably try to do that throughout the month, and just try to use some similar elements just so that it kind of ties the month together. But I'm not going to be really crazy. As long as my my week matches similar, then that's what I want. And some months, some weeks, it's okay to just have like a throw everything in there a week, right? Whatever you have left over, just throw it in there. Because in the end, your family's not going to know, right? They're not going to know that you didn't plan it out that well. But that's where using kits and collections like this just really is super helpful, because you know that things are going to match. I'm adding little sentiment word strips to each of these pictures of my kids. I did, when I printed off the picture, I left a little bit of space, so I will probably do something. I'll probably add their ages in on there. I didn't do that yet. I didn't fill in anything on here, but I did put those stickers because I wanted to make sure that I said something really like encouraging to my kids uh, for when they do decide to read through the album. I know they love to look through the albums, but they don't always read them. So, but they are getting to that age where they're more curious about what I wrote. So I did want to have something encouraging so that, to build them up. It's a new year. I want them to feel good about the new year and about what, where their place is in the family. And I know our project life, I've gotten, it's really been helpful for me to see what I take pictures of and what I want to take more pictures of, and what kind of things happen throughout our weeks that I feel necessary to repeat, and things, because I mean, that's the one thing about project life is you see a lot of the same things because you do a lot of the same things, from week to week to week, but it really does change. Like when I look at stuff when I started project life in 2014, my kids are way, like, even though we were doing school, things were so much different. I mean, not just that we lived in a whole different state, but things have changed so much. So I really love seeing like the little bits of change that you see. So this card is also from Teresa, and I'm just adding a strip from Dear Lizzie, and that matches the same collection. There's my cat again. I swear she does not come to my desk very often, but she was really bugging me that night. And I thought about using these lens pieces from Allie's kit, but it really just did not work. The colors were nice and would have worked, but I just couldn't find a place where I thought it matched. So yeah, it didn't go on, and that's okay. So here are a whole bunch of close-ups. Don't forget to check out the blog post that I wrote up so you can also see these cards and everything. And don't forget to keep an eye out for the end of the month of January of this year, right? 2018, woot woot. And you can see the pictures that I add to it, because I'll be adding my pictures and sharing those as well. So I am really excited to share all this stuff with you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this and are encouraged to start your project life if you are unsure about it. And I will see you guys later. Have a great scrappy week. Bye.